Hi everybody, lovely to see you all again today. This is the third program that I'm putting together in our photography series, and today I'm going to actually talk to you about the basics of what you might need of photography, because if you don't understand the basics you will not be able to then build on top of that basics to improve your photography. So I thought we'd talk about memory cards. I forgot then what I was going to talk about. So we're going to talk about memory cards, right? Now some cameras have got provision for 2 memory cards. Others got just the one. Well, not really, except that if you've got 2 memory cards, of course, you can back it up or use one for JPEG, one for RAW files. Come to that later. Now, it's nice to have lots of memory on a card, but how quick is it? Does that really matter, you might be asking? How fast it does? Yeah, it matters in as much as that how quick can it transfer the data from the camera onto the card, see? Because if you're taking movement, for example, a bird or a plane, or indeed sports photographs of cricket, football, you might want to use the camera in quick succession, click, 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 in order to get that shot you need. And if the card isn't quick, then you're going to have to wait. It might only be a second or two, or even a fraction of a second, for the data to be transferred from the camera to the card. And in that short period of time when you're trying to press the button down, you're missing the action. So it's very important that you get the fastest card that you can possibly afford. And it goes without saying, the quicker the card, the more expensive they become. And indeed, the more storage on a card, the more expensive they become as well. So in this camera, which is I'll show you the camera, it's this one, it's the Nikon D5300. It's a crop camera, and I showed it to you last week. Well, this is the card that I've got in it. There it is. You see that? That's the card. Sorry, it's upside down. There you go. You see that? So it's 64 memory. And you notice I always like to use SanDisk because they are quite reliable. Well, they are very reliable, and they are quick, and they're not really too expensive, reasonably priced. So with that card then slots, have the card facing you like that into the camera, like so. See the little blue light come on which tells you it's accepted it. Close the door, you're ready to go. Okay, so that's what that does. Now I've got a camera where it's got 2 cards in it. When I use the second card, I always use JPEG and RAW. Now RAW files have got all the data on the image, so that when you come to process the image, because you've got all the data associated with that particular image, it means that you're able to process it much more so than what you can with a JPEG. You might prefer to shoot JPEG because it takes up less memory on the card. However, you will soon find out when it comes to processing the image that the RAW is much more versatile because it's got more things on it that you can do as opposed to JPEG. And then once you've then process the image in as a raw file, you can then convert it into JPEG, because once it's into JPEG format, it's easier then to upload it onto the internet, or indeed send it to your friend or whoever you want to send it to. So it's very important that you understand what cards you want to get for your camera. And if you go online, you have plenty of choices. I can't remember. I normally get mine from a certain company, which I can't advertise, but I get them from a certain company because they are specialists in that field. Once you've found a company that you can rely on, you can trust, because to be honest with you, there's lots of imitations out there with these cards. You want to get the right one. You want to get the original. You don't want to copy. You want to get the original. So once you've found a company that is supportive of the original card, then keep to it. Don't change it. Okay, that's lovely. So I did say to you, I did promise you, I will show you some pictures that I've actually taken on the camera. Well, to be honest with you, I haven't actually had the opportunity of using all the cameras the way in which I wanted to, because, would you believe, on that same very week, where I live here, which is in a sheltered accommodation, they said lockdown, that's it, lockdown. So I've been unable really to get any pictures, but I will put some on for you so you can appreciate the difference of the quality of the pictures are. Now I want to show you another camera which is here, which is this one. Okay. Now this is again it's a Nikon, and it's a Z50 Z50, and this is again a single. It has a single memory card, but it's not on the side where you think it is in there. No, I put it on the bottom, underneath, in a battery storage compartment. Just let's turn it up the other way. Just in that storage compartment. There, see it? It's that blue thing running across there. Okay. So I've actually put it in there with the battery. And for the life of me, I don't know why Nikon didn't actually do a double card slot for that Nikon, the D50, because it really needs it. It's a lovely camera. This is a full frame camera from Nikon. This is the Z5, and this has got the opening compartment there, and as you see, it's got 2 memory cards. So Nikon learnt from their mistake. They put double cards in there. Now they've also got the Nikon 611 and the Nikon 711. So they learnt, and these cards are so important for you to understand. Don't go for the cheapest card. Do not do that, because cheap means bad news. Right. Do you remember this fella, what I showed you? The compact camera. That's got a memory card in it as well. And their memory card is, if I remember rightly, inside here, isn't it? See, inside the compartment underneath, where the battery storage unit is, that's its memory card there. See, just press it, it comes out. Okay, so cameras have to have a memory card, but you can get cameras that take so many photos without having a memory card, but they don't do that normally in this day and age. So I hope that has helped you now to understand memory cards, because we want to move on to more not complicated, but other things that's associated with that foundation. It's like if you build a house, if you haven't got a strong foundation, it's not going to last. And I want you personally to benefit from knowing the functions and the accessories. The other thing that we need to talk about at a future date is storage. Where are you going to store all these images? Because if you're talking about RAW files, they take up an awful lot of memory space. So what you're going to do, you're going to get your hard drive filled up quite quickly, or what they call a solid state drive now. So there's ways in which we could overcome that without using the cloud. The cloud's okay, but it tends to be a little expensive the more storage space you need, the dearer it becomes. So if we can keep the cost down a bit, that's all well and good. Well, that's it for now. So I'm going to go. I'm going to wish you happy snapping, and try and remember the basics when it comes to that memory card. Speed, number 1. RAW files, number 2. And as much space as you can afford. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for listening to me, and I look forward to the next lesson. And till then, happy snapping!